Okay, we're back. Also, Mom explains a terrible secret about Igner, the dim-witted one. And it's a heck of a twist, which is later on. Anyways, the Planet Express ship starts coming right towards them, while these robots try to shoot them down. But it was all a trick, and they enter inside her lair while killing a robot, and the other ones stupidly killing each other. Or they enter a room full of Nebulians. If those of you have not remembered the show, there was more than just Nibbler.
Oh, my poor little schnuzzy woodgums. Are they treating you okay?
No, they're force feeding us so we poop more dark matter. It's horrible.
And yet hilarious. He explained into everything. Sachri said, "Aren't you surprised that I could talk? You forgot to erase our memories." That Fry explained it.
Well, you're cuter that way.
Anyhow, he talks about the past, that Mom's machine, and take out all the dark matters, including building robot slaves. And how Nebor first met Leela and the others, the same planet that was about to explode.
It's submitted, my parents!
Anyhow, Igner finds them, but doesn't shoot them and tells them to run. And inside the Calamari chicken, back to the asylum, they were finally got to take out of his imagination brain too. And the crystal, always still in her hands. Our hero, Trango Riva, starts fighting off her sons, and she tries to charge up her weapon, while Fry and Professor Human Farnsworth tries to get to the crystal. However, her ma got the right hand. Human Farnsworth swallows the crystal just when her sons are about to inject that stuff in him. The ground starts breaking up and they power the crystals, and the dark matters create a different type of universe, and they enter in a fantasy world.
Crazy. Ow! What the? You okay, Leela? Yeah, I think so. Wait a second. Is there something different about your hooves? Oh!
And now Leela's a centaur, which is just pretty strange that she's already a mutant with one eye. But it makes total sense that they had to make her a centaur, or making her an interesting character. And Bender calls himself, I'll just let him explain it.
Bender? I know not of this Bender. I am Titanius Anglesmith. Welcome to Cornwood.
Yep, after 50 whole minutes, they finally enter into the fantasy world. And there's cameo of Calculon from the show as well. And our heroes get to fight Mom's sons from the same universe, but horns.
Damn the Ignis. Will you say follow you?
Well, now I say follow this.
My power is rolling in.
it actually works. Whenever it rolls, those gives them the different powers. Anyhow, they meet the wizard, which is the same character.
Full object in both our worlds. If you fail to destroy it in yours, perhaps you were brought here that you might have a second chance. So this land is real? Oh, dreadfully real. If you die here, you'll really be dead. But instead of science, we believe in crazy hocus pocus. It's like Kansas. God help us. Cornwood's troubles began hundreds or perhaps millions of years ago. Deep in the geysers of Gygax, Molly herself injection molded the ice of power from the living plastic.
Anyhow, the plot of the story, they had the from the power of dying. He's into the molten lava.
Weakness.
So it's up to them to save of both their worlds. While we see Hermes, his comrade becomes Aphrodite, which is pretty weird that he becomes both male and female with breast on him. And yet it's still funny to see this interesting character that becomes of women and a centaur.
You may not cross our lands.
For what?
Or
And he pretends to not violence. And the cameo of Wood Guy and Catch It on Fire, which is funny.
and please,
The monster
we were already in there.
her refuses to let them pass until she shows up.
Gynecoladria, queen of the water nymphos.
All right, I'll split this doofus in half.
Stand aside, and I will use my powers to overwhelm the gods.
By making love to him, of course. Anyhow, they get stopped by
Kill you and eat your heart, you abomination.
a giant monster, which is obviously Soyberg.
Don't make me laugh. The very idea of removing only one of my two hearts could... Hey, what are you doing down there? Now I'm dead.
Mila, it's over. You killed him and not. I'm not taking any chances with that tunneling horror.
Also, she realized she killed the wrong monster.
Oh, there he goes again.
The real monster is that giant worm.
The tunneling horror.
Red Vine, what do we do? Do about what? Why aren't you killing it, Leela? You love killing. No more killing.
Oh, so suddenly Miss Goody Four Shoes over here doesn't kill anymore. She killed me about 5 minutes ago. What am I, can't blame her?
Shut up.
And yeah, Soyberg won't shut up. Anyhow, Fry tries to help Bender by throwing stuff.
The diet power. I forgot to remember to roll it.
And he gets
Grow? I don't see anything growing. Everything's getting smaller.
Hyojin easily defeats the creature. And he becomes Golem, and then instead of the pressures of the rings, which by the way is a relation to Lord of the Rings. And he really likes the Die of Power. That'll give him anything he wants. While, Mom, well, in this universe, Mammon is watching them.
Able opponent.
And Leela, or Lingua, she's called in this universe, goes to a peace. While our heroes, those still carry on to Dizak, to her evil lair. In this scene right here, where he talks to his own reflection, and I gotta admit, this scene goes on way too long. It becomes funny for like a few minutes.
It is, yep, it's a staghorn. At this price, you have got to be kidding me. That's got to be some kind of mistake right there.
Now you folks at home, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that can't be staghorn. It's got to be the cheaper man-core horn.
It becomes like a merchandising, but it goes on way too long, so... well, our character Bender meets the king, which turns out to be
Let us join forces before the light.
Roberto as the king. And my favorite scene right here had to be this one.
You calling me crazy? Just because I got a hotel in my foot don't make me a boogly moogly moogly.
Fine.
Stop laughing at me, flying avocado.
Why did they not bring this show back because of that character? He's just so freaking awesome. Anyhow, they'll get attacked by the Lamon's army of monsters. The king was too crazy and forces them to jump into a pond of alligators and whatever. They start fighting back. Since they're outnumbered. Or they throw everything at them, but now it's up to Leela and the others to fight back by using crossbows, while Frightbow, is called in this universe, tries to throw a die of power, but he refuses because he likes it. While Soyberg here tries to tell him to drop it, and Woggle turns into a dragon. And so that's Fry.
So it's all come down to this. A dungeon and dragons.
I didn't see it coming.
The epic battle ensues. The centaurs help them just in time before they will meet their doom. And we get this hot scene.
Hey, you.
Anyhow, the fight cuts shortly while Ignar tries to help them on the giant spider and do a Star Wars parody reference. Oh yeah, and the dragon's weakness is its underbelly. And Ignar finally tells Farnsworth the truth.
You are my father.
No, that's impossible.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
No!
Yeah, I heard Mommy say so.
No!
I have all the dice. I am the dungeon master. I know and see.
And she wins.
Right.
And they're back to their regular crazy world. And they explain everything, and he still got that dark matter in his stomach.
It was science. Bender's mighty imagination, amplified by a dark matter resonance, created an alternate reality that very nearly blew our minds.
Exactly. You can't make that kind of stuff up.
Quit trying to explain everything. I defeated you in that world, and I'll defeat you in this one. Boys, the crystal's still in his stomach. Commencing intestinal flash flood. Wait, before my moment of shame, can I? Yes, speak up. Can I give my boy a hug? May boy?
And I gotta admit, this scene is really touching. It just really presses your heart.
We both needed the crystals.
No!
And just like that, they're destroyed.
My dark matter! It's worthless! That's right, Mom. But fear not, fancy folk, for I've just thunk up an alternative energy source. Nibbler power!
Hooray! Wait, what?
And so ends Futurama's Bender's Game, and I love it. Also, I might have to finish this in part 3. I could have done this a lot faster. And this movie would have been a little bit shorter. But alright. leave a like and subscribe, even other things like that. And we'll finish this in part 3, the very last one, to wrap it up. Because the video can only last for like 15 whole minutes. So, catch you in the next one.